What is up, guys? It's your boy Torius back again with another video. What is up, guys? It's Torius, your boy, back again with another video. Just got a haircut, feeling myself, and I'm gonna talk about toxic masculinity, right? So, with that being said, like the video, comment, subscribe, get it. What is toxic masculinity? It's when a dude is being bad for being a dude, right? Oh, you shouldn't do that. Oh, your toxic masculinity is showing. Your fragile male ego, right? That's what girls say, right? And some dudes too, like niggas be saying that shit too, and it's like, bruh. All right, but what is toxic masculinity, right? I'm gonna say what I think it is after I say what it means. So toxic masculinity just means like when a feminist girl or just like a regular girl or whatever, they're like, oh, you can't be aggressive. You can't be saying things that are true and logical and right. You just have to say things that are not, right? Because if you do say any of those things, then that's toxic masculinity, right? If you be on Twitter, if you ever go on Twitter, you know what I mean? So, you know, like anytime that you say something, because I had girls say to me, oh, that's just toxic masculinity. That's just basically what it is. It's just like when a girl says you got a little dick, right? It's like when a girl says, oh, size matters. Oh, this and that. Oh, you're not tall enough, right? It's like when a girl says, oh, I only like tall guys. What's that supposed to make you feel like? Oh, shit. I'm not tall enough. Oh, no. Insecurity. Oh, no. My confidence. Right? Girls feed off of confidence, right? Like they literally eat the shit. That's why girls will try their best to make you unconfident, right? To make you insecure. Like, because the thing is, your confidence, I feel like it's like a scale, right? Like her amount of, like your confidence got to be up here to get a girl like that has like this much insecurity, right? Because when people are insecure, they come at people that are confident, right? They try to bring you down to their level. So if you go up to a girl and she says, oh, you're not tall enough for me, right? If you're insecure, you're gonna be like, damn, I can't get that girl because I'm not tall enough. Oh no, right? But if you're short and you know you're short and you don't give a fuck because you're like, okay, I'm short and what? So what? You just go to her and be like, oh, yeah, my height's short but my dick big. You feel me? You just say some shit like that. And then she'll be like, oh, damn, this nigga don't give a fuck, right? So that's the show's confidence, because you're just like, okay, I'm confident in myself. Like I don't go like it's like you accept those things about you, right? Like confidence is basically just accepting who you are. Like, you know, it's like, oh, this is me. I'm a short ass nigga, right? My bad. I thought this nigga was gonna hit me. Yeah, confidence is just accepting who you are, right? So no matter what, if you got a little dick and she says, oh, that's why your dick little, be like, oh yeah, probably is. You feel me? It's just like, when we learn in school, positive plus negative equals 0, right? You neutralize it. You gotta always neutralize whatever, right? Like if you go up to a girl and she's like, I have a boyfriend, be like, oh damn, I didn't know it was the future and we were together already. Or some shit, you feel me? And she'd be like, what I gotta say now, right? Like a lot of times, dudes will be like, oh, what's your number, girl? And then the girl will be like, I got a boyfriend. And then you'd be like, what's his last name? And then she'll be like, or what's his name? And she'll be like, right? Because that's all you gotta do is just neutralize it, right? The thing is, though, this is not an invitation to be like on some like rapey shit, you feel me? Like just because, like if a girl said, like the only time you should listen to what a girl says is when she says no, right? Just if she says no, that's like you'll know, right? Like don't be out here fucking being aggressive like that. But that leads me to toxic masculinity, right? Because as dudes, we're supposed to be masculine. Basically, we're supposed to be masculine. We're men. That's our role. Like I don't give a fuck how much girls say, oh, you never show your feminine side. Oh, you gotta show your sensitive side, right? That's just her saying like, oh, you got a little dick, right? And to see what you're gonna say, because if she says, oh, you gotta show your sensitive side, and then you start showing your sensitive side, guess what? You just did what she said. Guess what? That means that she's in charge. She's in the lead. She wears the pants. Girls don't want to wear pants. That's why they wear skirts. So, and dresses, because they're not wearing pants. So, if she says, oh, you gotta show your sensitive side. She's like, oh, why don't you ever show your sensitive side? Show her your dick. And then be like, oh, this is my sensitive side. I'm just playing. But, you know, you just gotta just keep going, bruh. Just keep doing you, right? Like imagine it's raining, right? And you're like, oh man, I wish it wasn't raining, right? And then the earth was just like, oh, okay, then let me stop the rain for you, right? Guess what's gonna happen? There ain't gonna be no trees. What if some other people are counting on the rain? Then there's no rain, right? Let's say that you need to be masculine, and then your girl says, oh, I need you to stop being masculine. Then you'll be like, okay, honey. And guess what? All the areas in your life where you need to be masculine, which means like getting a job, like keeping your job, or like, you know, running the household or whatever, those all decline just because you want to satisfy one person, right? That's why you can't be going up to a girl and then she's like, oh, I don't like the way that you dress, right? And then you change the way you dress, and then like, just for this one girl, and then expect her to be like, oh my god, you changed how you dress, now I like him. She probably don't give a fuck about how you dress, but it's just because you change it, then now she likes you even less. You feel me? Like a girl will like you even, it depends though, because if you become like a celebrity or like a really like good looking, then maybe she'll change her mind. But for the most part, she's gonna think you're weak because you're just like doing this for her. It's like, why are you doing that for me? Like there's a whole bunch of other, like, do it for you, if anything, you feel me? But so yeah, girls, like the term toxic masculinity is just a weapon, right? It's just a weapon that girls have to use against men, and then dumb dudes, they use the same thing because they're dumb, right? Because a girl will say, oh, your toxic masculinity is showing, right? Or your fragile male ego. Or girls will like laugh at men for like having egos, right? Like, oh, they're fragile male ego. And then it's like, that's just so that they feel better about themselves, because women are not as strong as men, right? Because we're stronger and we got muscles, and we got muscles, you feel me? Girls don't got muscles, so it don't really matter, because they're just using their words as weapons, right? These are weapons. When girls say things like that, like, just imagine, like if a girl says your dick little, just imagine she just has a weapon in her hand, right? Like, if you're in a war and a dude has a gun, are you gonna just run away? Like, no, nigga, you're in a war. You fucking kill that motherfucker. I don't give a fuck if he has a gun. You should, like, soldiers don't give a fuck if the enemy has a gun, because they should expect them to have a gun, right? Because they're in war. Women, their guns, their weapons are, you know, their words. So they're gonna hurt you. They're gonna try to hurt your feelings. They're gonna try to make you feel bad and take down your confidence and say things like toxic masculinity, right? Because the reason I'm making this video is because because that word would always make me upset, right? Because it's like, because I would always be on Twitter, and then girls would always be like, oh, toxic masculinity, and all that shit, right? And I'm just like, what the heck? It's just like a shame tactic, right? It's just like when girls say like, oh, really, you're gonna sleep with 1,000 girls? Like, ew, why would you do that? Because, and you know what? They'll make dudes feel bad for wanting to sleep with a whole bunch of girls, and then the dude will be like, oh, you know what? Maybe it is bad that I want to sleep with 1,000 girls. Maybe it's good that I only have one girlfriend, right? And then what it is that they're putting their perspective onto you and making you have a woman's perspective, right? Because in a woman's perspective, if she sleeps with 1,000 dudes, she's seen as worthless, right? She doesn't have any worth. But if a dude sleeps with 1,000 girls, then he has more worth, because only a dude that would sleep with 1,000 girls would have worth, right? So anytime like girls say like, oh, your toxic masculinity or your fragile male ego or all this shit. It's just they're just using weapons against you. Like that's non-violence violence, right? Like in all honesty, toxic masculinity, and there's toxic femininity too. But you can't say that because dudes aren't allowed to criticize women, right? You're not allowed, because the thing is, it's not only that you're not allowed to, because you're literally not allowed to in society. It's that you shouldn't anyways, right? Like a dude shouldn't give a fuck about anything girls do or say, right? Like, I mean, it does affect us, like when it comes to feminism and all that shit. Like that shit does affect us, right? Because it makes men weak, right? And men don't want to be weak. So we would speak out about against feminism, but when it comes to like criticizing anything that a girl does, like, or says, like, oh, when girls say, like, honestly, my best opinion is just ignore them and just be a man, right? Just work on doing all the stuff men are supposed to do, like being in the gym, making money, smashing girls, you know, just focus on shit men do, right? And don't really adhere to women standards, because that was my problem, right? Like my problem was all my life, because I would always hang around girls and I would hear about the girls' problems and shit, and I was raised by women. So I would always listen to what girls had to say, and I basically had a girl's perspective. And then I realized later on, like, oh shit, you know what? This don't feel right, right? I don't feel right being like doing this, right? I don't feel right thinking like this, right? Because like, why would I think, oh, let me have one girlfriend? I mean, obviously it's cool to have one girlfriend, but that's just toxic femininity, right? Like toxic masculinity is masculinity in a man, a woman, and toxic femininity is femininity in a man, right? Because yeah, like you can argue like, oh, there's men and women both have their own feminine and like their own balance of feminine and masculine energy, but nowadays, bruh, the way that society is that there's more feminine men than there are masculine men, right? So all the masculine dudes are in jail, or all the masculine dudes are like very, you know, like all the laws are like, there's literally laws against masculine men, right? Because masculine men are the ones that are gonna kill people. They're the ones that are gonna sell drugs and do drugs and and rob and do fraud and shit. Because that, you know, it takes balls to do that shit, right? So what society does is it castrates all the men, clips their balls, make them into weak little women, right? That's toxic femininity, because it makes men into people who are gonna stay in line with society, right? Because society doesn't want people going around fighting people in bars, you know? They don't want people robbing and killing and all that shit. They don't want, because masculinity makes you into an animal, right? It basically takes away your humanity and turns you into an animal, where you don't think logically, you don't think right? You think like a fucking beast, right? So you think it like a, like you basically thinking with your balls, right? So that's why society wants to keep you in your head. So we have our phones, because the phones keeps you in the head. Because when you're in the head, you're overthinking, like, oh, should I do this? The consequences. You feel me? But then if you're in your balls, you don't give a fuck about shit. You just want to do what you gotta do. You feel me? Damn, I should have gone. I should have done what I gotta do. But whatever. See, there's a perfect example, right? Perfect example. You just want, I could have gone, but I was thinking too much, like, oh, should I go? I could have gone. But whatever. Society wants us all up in here in our heads, because then we advance society, right? So the thing is like, it's funny because women are like the new men and men are like the new women, right? Because a woman, if a woman is aggressive and she attacks you, it's like, okay, I don't give a fuck. She can't, like, a girl could punch me. I'm gonna take that punch, right? I can take a punch from a dude, so I can take a punch from a girl. You feel me? But I don't give a fuck how strong the bitch is. But, you know, like, I feel like it is smart. It's a smart idea in theory, right? But then in practice, it's like, because I lived it, right? Like, I'm like a product of the fucking experiment. You feel me? That's why I'm just like, that's why I make these videos, because I don't fuck with that shit, right? Because shit sucks. Like when you have to live it, the shit fucking sucks. Like girls, like yeah, girls have all their problems and shit with all their feminism and whatever. But I feel like all that whole thing turned into a whole slew of different problems, right? And right now, men are the ones being, what is the word? They're the ones being minimalized in society, right? And no one gives a fuck about what men say. Basically, we're turning into a matriarchy, and everything's gonna be run by women, and then women are gonna be upset at the things. Because the thing is like, I don't know, I don't give a fuck. Honestly, toxic masculinity is just a weapon, and it's just the masculinity in a woman, right? Because women be ball breakers, right? They're ball busters. Women are ball busters, and men are being whips, right? Because girls are feminine. Femininity means being a whip. Because when you have a strong woman, a strong woman wants to raise a man who's not gonna like let's say you have a single mother. The single mother's gonna be like, I don't want you to be like your dad. Your dad broke my heart and it hurt, so I'm gonna make you to not be a man that breaks to the girl's heart, because I don't want any other girl to go through this. Like, she'll use you as a weapon, right? And it's crazy. Girls are fucking nuts. But whatever. I hope this video helps whatever you're going through. If you're a man that's feminized, get your shit in check. Be around other men. Do hard work. Put yourself in hard situations. Build your testosterone up, and that'll get your masculinity up. Like the video. Comment below what you guys want me to answer in the next video. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll get back to you in the next video. Peace.